What's one of the first things people notice when approaching someone's house? The address sign. Join us today as we make a very special address sign using the Creality Falcon2 Pro. But before we start, let's rewind back to the beginning. First up, we had to set up the Creality Falcon2 Pro. This new laser engraver from Creality features a fully transparent enclosure, and it comes with a built-in camera for accurate alignment, which is a big upgrade from the original Creality Falcon. It's compatible with 40-watt and 22-watt laser modules, and it has a ventilation system built in, which is really important when using a laser engraver indoors. There's also an interior light that's really helpful for setting things up. Overall, everything was really easy to set up, and I'm really looking forward to testing this laser out. So let's finish setting things up and jump right into our project. These are all the supplies we'll be using for today's address sign project. I'm going to use this piece of tape as a guide so I can see roughly how big I want the numbers to be for the address sign. So first up, I turn the laser on, and I'm going to set up my project in Lightburn on my computer. What's cool about this laser is there's a little catching tray at the bottom that catches all the pieces that fall through, and it's really easy to slide out and clean things up. Viant set the height of the laser module, closed the enclosure, and now I'm going to set everything up in Lightburn. To set up the camera of this laser engraver was pretty quick, and we just watched a YouTube video that explained everything step by step. I will link that video in the description because it was really helpful and easy to follow. The camera is a great upgrade because, as you can see, I can frame up what I'm working on and see what's in the enclosure. This was especially helpful because I have some spacers I'm going to be using for the back of the numbers, and I wanted to make sure the numbers were wider than the spacers, so I put the spacers on top of the wood and designed the numbers using the camera view from the laser. That way I was sure the numbers were going to be wider than the spacers. Really helpful. Alright, so I finished designing the numbers for the sign, and we got everything framed up in the laser, and now we are going to try to cut this piece of wood. It's pretty thick. I think it's 3/4 of an inch, right? Yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch thick, and that's a lot to cut for a 22-watt laser. So I'm going to crank the settings. I might have to do a couple passes. I don't know. We're gonna do a first test, see how it goes, and go from there. So first pass is done. I don't think it went all the way through, so we're gonna go over here, do 1 or 2 more passes to make sure everything is cut out before we pull the piece of wood out of the laser. The ventilation system is another really great feature and really necessary if you are doing laser engraving indoors. Cutting wood makes a lot of smoke, and you don't want all that smoke accumulating inside. As you can see, it looks like the laser cut all the way through on the second pass, which is actually pretty incredible considering this piece of wood is 3/4 inches thick. Third pass, let's go! Alright, so we did 3 passes. I'm pretty sure that it went all the way through and it cut them out, but better safe than sorry. So we're gonna do one more pass. That way we can be totally sure that they're cut out before we pull the piece of wood out. So one more to go. Alright, let's open it and test it out. So as you can see, they are cut out perfectly. Look at that. That's a pretty thick piece of wood. I think it took 2 passes, but I did 3 just in case, just to make sure that they were cut out well. So that's a good start. So now we have to cut out some pieces out of this 1x4 right here, because that's what we're gonna use to do this, the street name. So we have to cut out some pieces that we will put in the laser and then design the street name. So let's jump to it. So this step took some time. I didn't like how some of the stencil fonts looked, so I'm basically creating my own stencil font using the Lightburn software. It was relatively easy, but time consuming. I drew small rectangles in the letters and used the Boolean difference tool. I don't know if that's how you say it. So the center of the letters, like the P, the A, and the B, wouldn't fall out once they're cut. In the end though, I think it came out really cool looking, and I'm definitely going to be doing this again. I checked the framing multiple times to make sure everything I was doing was lining up well before I started cutting out the letters. So we got the new piece of wood in there, everything is lined up, the design is finalized. As you saw, I had to go and kind of like create my own stencil font because I didn't really find any that I liked, and I didn't want every letter to be a stencil because it wasn't really necessary, just the P, the A, the B, and the D. So it's basically the same piece as this, same thickness as the numbers that we just cut out. So I'm gonna do a couple passes in here, and I don't know, hopefully we can get it in 3 passes. Let's roll. Be sure to click the exclusive link in the description if you're interested in picking up a Creality FALCON2 Pro Laser Engraver. I have a special discount code for you all, so don't forget to use it so you can get this laser at a discounted price. All right, here we go. Here's the final product. Looks like all the letters are cut out pretty well. You can see them kind of wiggling around in there. So everything should be good. Nice. So I'm gonna pull it out and take the letters out. So that's pretty much it for the night. I wanted to get this cut out, and we did. So tomorrow we are going to be working on putting the numbers, which is only one, but I only have two hands. The numbers, the street sign, and a few other pieces of the sign all together. That's the plan. Stay tuned to see how the sign turns out. Should be cool. We have some pretty cool things planned for the final piece. Time will tell. I'm really happy with how things are turning out so far. The street name came out amazing. Everything is really clean cut and sharp, and I'm really glad I DIY'd my own stencil font. The numbers also came out amazing, and I can't wait to see how everything is gonna come together. Alright, new day, back at it. We are hoping to finish the sign today. I decided that I am going to redo the Pacific Boulevard sign because I need a little bit more space on each end to connect the street sign onto the address sign. So right now I'm recutting it and with a little bit more spacing. And while we do that, we are going to cut the frame of the address sign. So two things at once, double tasking. Let's roll. Alright, first up we are going to use the saw to cut a groove in the center of this piece of wood where the aluminum sheet is going to sit. And look at that, it slides right in and fits perfect. Nice. Now we are cutting the other sides that will make up the rest of the base frame.
Ready to be full.
Okay, now that the base frame is cut, now we are cutting the angled pieces that will be for the front frame. This will give you an idea of the setup we're going for. Once all the pieces were cut, it was time to sand everything down. So I'm just using the sander with 180 grit to smooth everything out. Then I went in with my favorite stain, Jacobean, or as I like to call it, Jacobine. This will give the sign a nice contrast against the aluminum. I also stained the street name sign and the numbers as well, so everything looked cohesive. So we finished staining everything. Now they are just gonna chill out and dry for a little while before we put everything together. So far everything's going really well, and I can't wait to see how everything turns out. We have a special material that we are going to be adding to give the sign a little bit of pop. So stay tuned to see what it is. We could not figure out why this one piece is super shiny and totally different than the other pieces. It came from the same piece of wood and I did the same thing on all the other pieces. So this is a little bit of a mystery, and if you have any idea on what could have caused that, feel free to comment your thoughts. Once everything was sealed and dry, we went ahead and started putting everything together. So exciting. We are installing a solar LED light on the interior and exterior of the sign for some nice backlighting. They have adhesive on the back of the LED strip, but we are also using these little clips to hold everything in place. First impression, pretty legit. I am so happy with how this address sign turned out. It's so sharp and beautiful, and I cannot wait to gift it to someone special in our family. We couldn't have done this project without the Creality Falcon 2 Pro, and I'm pretty impressed with the new upgraded features of this laser engraver. Don't forget to click the exclusive link in the description if you guys are interested in picking up this laser engraver. Special thank you to Creality for sponsoring this video and letting us have an opportunity to test out the new Creality Falcon 2 Pro. So overall, I think this project came out incredible. I'm so happy with the end results. The only thing I will say is I wish the LED lights were a little bit more brighter. They're definitely more dull than the LED lights we've used in the past. But worst case scenario, we can get a new roll of LED lights and install them. Well, working here on the computer and checking out this little visitor right here. How cool is this? Help support our channel by leaving a comment, liking, and sharing this video. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with our projects and adventures on Pacific Pines Ranch. We put out new videos every Saturday and sometimes even during the week, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any. Okay, bye.